All righty, you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming. My name is Melanie. I go by the Million Dollar Woman. I am a commercial advisor, and I help people take their at-home business to a brick and mortar. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about how to dominate in either commercial real estate or residential real estate in your branding, in your marketing, right? So today, in today's world, a lot of people are gaining clientele from where? Social media, LinkedIn, or just a simple referral, right? Okay. So I like to take it up a notch and show you how to scale your business strictly online and how to gain that lead attraction online, right? Alrighty. So we also we have some wonderful sponsors as well, some speakers that are going to be talking to you guys here at Superior Abstract Title, and then we also have Frost Bank. They're going to be letting you know how their process works and how to do business with them. All right, you guys, let's get into it. Are you guys ready? All righty, all righty. So why branding and marketing matters, right? Branding and marketing matter because you build trust, you attract clients, and it differentiates yourself from a competitive market. Here in commercial real estate, it can be very competitive, or even just in real estate, period. In real estate, you have how many agents in the business right now, either joining? I guarantee you, based off of the service that you provided for your client, if you did a phenomenal job, you most likely are going to want them, and they're going to be encouraged to check on them about an hour later, or a day later, and they're going to say, hey, I think I want to get my real estate license too. How many of you guys have that experience with some of your clients? A lot? Yes, okay. So how you brand yourself is by storytelling. Okay. This is something that I learned just the other day at a leadership meeting, and I felt like it was very advantageous for you guys to learn. So, with your brand, you were telling a story about yourself. Am I right? So, when I started off, I said, hi, my name is Melanie. I'm the Million Dollar Woman. I help people take their at home business to a brick and mortar. My brand is the Million Dollar Woman. It's not about money, but it's about the value that I can bring to people. Okay. And that's what you want to do with your brand. You want to bring value and you want to set yourself apart. So, how you do that is through storytelling, visual identity, and consistent messaging. So when you see somebody, or when you're talking to somebody, let's just say you're out having lunch, or you could be at a happy hour. When you introduce yourself, they're going to want to know, who are you? What do you do? And why should I do business with you when my cousin or my friend does the same business that you do? What sets you apart? I was speaking to a gentleman not too long ago, and he said something that I felt like was very important, and it resonated with me. He said, you can know someone that's in the same field, but if I like this person, I'm going to do business with the person that I like versus doing business with someone that I know. True or true? True. Okay, thank you. I like interaction, you guys. You guys can be interactive. You guys can raise your hand. I feed off of your energy, okay? Always remember, marketing brings attention and branding builds that loyalty. It's two separate things between branding and marketing. I want to ask you guys a question. What does branding mean to you? Anybody? Image. Okay. Okay. So, what you're about? I like that.
What definitely sets you apart from anyone else.
Okay.
If you do it right.
If you do it right. There you go. And Denise, I want to highlight you because when I had asked you to send me your headshot is not a standard, you know, it's you're comfortable and you're relaxing. And when people notice you, they're gonna remember, hey, I remember that photo. And then also your logo is just beautiful in itself. So it's pink, it's appealing to the eye. And that's what you want when it comes to your branding. You want it to be catchy, okay? So branding is being able to define your business, and its purpose can have a significant impact on your ability to build a customer base. Did y'all catch that? Okay. Now, before you can start creating your brand, learn what a brand is and how it fits into your marketing strategies, because it's important. So for an example, who do I want to use? Let's go with something fancy. Everyone knows like Chanel, Louis Vuitton, right? Okay. How do you know them by? Their logo. How often do they change in the colors? How often do they change their logo? Never. So if you can see a bag that may be plain Jane, but you're going to know it by that what? Which logo is in depth because it's about your brand. That's how you're branding yourself. All right, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so branding versus marketing. Think of branding as your business foundation and personality, while marketing is the vehicle that gets your message out to the world. I heard somebody say something. Okay, so branding your identity. Branding your identity helps you find your niche, and it sets you apart. So for an example, my niche is retail restaurant and salon suites. So when anyone refers a business to me, they're most likely going to refer something that's within my niche. Like Calvin, he does warehouse, he does warehouse and industrial, right? So you want to make sure in your business you have that niche that sets you apart, but also it ties into your brand. Now, I feel this is the key part of a brand, is your tagline. How many of you guys have a tagline in your business? Okay, 2, okay, all righty. So the tagline is important because they may not remember the name, but they're gonna remember the tagline. Go ahead. Yeah, the tagline is important. Like, for an example, and I don't know why this is stuck out of my head, but the company that I filed my taxes with, their company is called Fast Track Tax Services. Rapid plus accurate equals fast track taxes. I don't know why that's stuck in my head, but that's stuck in my head. So that's a brand. Or is it who has Eat Fresh? Subway. So look, y'all like, I don't know. Eat Fresh. So that's their tagline. So a tagline is very essential in your business because you want to make it short but memorable, and it captures your clients or your audience attention. So as you guys being business owners, because you are realtors, brokers, lenders, transaction coordinators, whatever you do in your business, you want to make it memorable for your clients, because the service that you provide based off of your brand is how they're going to refer business to you. Make sense? Okay. Always remember, helping people take their, my tagline is helping people take their at-home business to a brick and mortar. That's my tagline. And an example is a strong brand makes your marketing more impactful. People remember who you are, not what you sell, right? Did you guys know, a little fun fact, every 14 days, if you're not fresh on someone's mind, that they forget what you do? Did you know that? Yes. Every 14 days. Yeah, out of sight, out of mind. So you want to stay fresh on someone's mind. Okay. Branding a powerful commercial real estate brand. How many of you guys, because I'm trying to see what my audience is, how many is commercial, how many is residential? Commercial, residential. Don't be afraid, y'all. No, I was waiting for you to say raise your hand if you're commercial. Both. Raise your hand if you're residential or commercial. Or if you're looking to do both. Both? Okay, awesome. Okay, so if I were to meet you guys today and I asked a question on, hey, what do you guys do? What will be the first thing that pop in your mind as far as how to service me or how to help me? What will be the first thing? So when you meet someone, right, and you're having an organic conversation and you're trying to see if they can be a potential client, if you are doing residential and commercial, what would be the first category come to your mind as far as what you do? Would it be residential or would it be commercial? It would be residential. Why would you say residential? Is it because that's something that you're more comfortable with? Yeah. Okay, so that's your brand. Okay. So a strong brand commands higher value and credibility. I'm going to go back to Chanel and Louis Vuitton. You know them because of what? Their clientele base, their brands, their logo, and what? Their material are trusted. You know that you can get a fine bag from wherever you're going. That's what you need to do in real estate. You need to make sure that your service is impeccable to the point where a person will want you to do everyone home or help them get a business wherever they go. How do you do that? By develop a brand story. You want to create a cohesive identity, and you want to establish a consistent voice across all platforms. So consistency throughout your brand and your marketing is important. I'm trying to think. We Partners, for an example, right? Whenever you hear We Partners, you would think that you are under Daniel or Calvin's team, right? Okay, so the reason why is because they have branded We Partners so strong to where wherever you hear them, whether if you are a part of Evolving Realty or if you are a part of Tasha, what is your group's name? The Breadwinners. But if you say, hey, yeah, I'm a partner of We Partner Network, they know that brand. So always stay consistent with your branding. So what that includes is content marketing, digital advertising, email campaigns, and networking events. Okay. See, We Partners. So I have a question for you guys. How many of you guys go to networking events on a consistent basis? By show of hands. Why?
It's to build networks.
Okay.
Rapport within the industry they can connect with.
Okay, and you want people to know who you are.
Exactly.
Okay, so when you want people to know who you are, how are you setting yourself different from all of the other people in that at that event?
Handing out business cards, starting conversations.
Okay. I have a question. On your business card, what is something that sticks out?
It's kind of round, just a little bit different. It's not like it's a square business card.
Okay.
Very bold in color.
Okay.
Everybody always compliment me on it.
So okay. So the color? You said the shape of it? Okay. So you are branding yourself and you're also marketing yourself to set yourself apart from the next competition that's in the room. I didn't bring my friend today, but I usually have Yoshi. So another way that I have found to reinvent myself and recreate my brand is I got a bearded dragon, and I bring my bearded dragon, and that's a conversation starter for some. Because some's like, whoa, what is that? I'm like, it's friendly. It's not going to bite. It's probably not even going to move, but it's there. So just find different ways as agents to market yourself and brand yourself. So think to yourself, how are you setting yourself apart from your competition? Are you still saying, when we first get our license, the realtor, Mel the realtor, that was my name at first. Or on your social media and your platforms, do you have that tagline? Do you have that branding? Do you have those colors? Did you know certain colors help captivate people to your brand and to your business? That's important. You have to all look at that. Email campaigns. How many of you guys do email campaigns? Truthfully. Okay, so not even half of the room. I have found that email campaigns are very advantageous. Whether it's holiday, whether it's blasting email blast, remember every 14 days somebody forgets what you do. So if you are not taking the extra steps by just getting off of social media, you need to be doing email campaigns. How many times people check their phones? How many times do people check their emails if you're in business? all the time. How many times you forget, like, oh, I remember this agent or this person had this deal on 123 Main Street, but I can't remember who it was. And you got to go back and scroll through your emails. If you send in those email campaigns and have a drip to where it sends so many months or so many weeks, I guarantee you your clientele will pick up more, right? And digital advertising. Now, this is where I would say it could be a write-off. You know how what I've seen, you know how the trucks have the advertising on the side? How many of you guys have kids? Okay, half of the room. How many of you guys' kids are in sports? How many of you guys provide water bottles or towels to the kids? You can put your logo on the water bottles. You can do the towels. When you're going, you can pass out snacks to the parents that are sitting in the stands or whatever your children do. That is a different type of digital advertising, okay? Everyone knows how to create content, so I don't have to go into that. See, you got a Yeti. You got a Yeti. Exactly. One thing that I do for my colleague is whenever I love hats. So whenever someone gives me a hat with their brand on it, I always wear it. And someone, I guarantee you, someone is going to ask, hey, is that your, nope, this is my colleague. When it's my own personal brand, like just my fitted caps, I put $1 Million Woman on the side of them. So people can ask, hey, what? No, that's me. That's my brand. That's me. All right, let's go to the next slide. Marketing strategies. How many of you guys know how to know effective marketing strategies? Raise your hand. We're being like my pastor say, hot, humble, and transparent. Okay, that's what we're being today. So marketing drives lead generation, deal flow, and visibility. Everybody wants more leads, especially if you are not a seasoned agent and that referral base isn't consistent, right? So even though you may have people say, you need to reach out to your sphere, you need to reach out, make so many calls, that's important to do. And sometimes it doesn't have to be, oh, don't forget, I'm a realtor. It can just be a simple follow-up. Hey, Katie, how are your twins? I remember you told me this and this and that about them. How are they doing? It's gonna create that know, like, and trust with that client. Like I always say, if a person likes you, they're gonna trust you most likely, and if they trust you, they're gonna do what? Do business with you. And we all want them to do business with us. With content marketing, you can share market insight, you can do property tours, which we all do that, and then case studies. This is something that I've noticed when you have your high-end rollers, they set themselves apart different. So they're doing that market share insight. How many of you guys have a certain market that you're forming? And if I was to ask you, well, what is the price per square foot going for this area? How many of you guys could really tell me what that is? Or if you're trying to elevate your business with those investors or those lenders, that's how they talk. They want to know, what are numbers? How can I save on this? Everybody wants to know how to save. Are you that expert person that has that market insight in the area that you are farming? Property tours. Which are property tours? How are you setting yourself apart? Are you just going in the property, going out and then putting in information? Or are you going in the property and say, hey, this is right here, is your condenser. Did you know the condenser is what the air condition comes out, and this is your furnace. This is where the heat comes out. Are you educating on your property tours? That will set you apart different. My favorite with marketing strategies is social media. LinkedIn are for the leaders. Instagram is for visuals, and YouTube is really where you should put the property showcases at, right? How many big-time investors are on Instagram? You will most likely find them on LinkedIn, right? Facebook is more for family, keeping in contact. That's more of a family or a personal touch with your marketing strategies. So on Facebook, what you guys should be doing is when you're creating your post, tag people that are in different states that are on your page, because what's going to happen is their audience, you're not friends with them, so you're going to captivate their audience as well. Am I making sense? Am I going too fast? Okay. Instagram. What do people like to do on Instagram? Scroll, right? Okay. You need to make sure you're being authentic. You need to make sure you're being relatable. And you need to make sure you're being informative if you're going to use social media as a marketing strategy, right? The reason why is because if you're a person who's at work, can't really pick up your phone, you're going to want to look real quick, you're going to save it, or you're going to send it to yourself. Am I right? Okay. I haven't mastered YouTube. I'll let y'all know when I get that. But I do feel like, for an example, I'll use Daniel. Daniel is YouTubing. He's streaming this live on YouTube. This is helping his brand, because if anybody needs to go back and look at a video of so-and-so, they're going to go to his YouTube, and you can find it on YouTube. So YouTube is very beneficial. I'm back on them email campaigns. Them email campaigns, you nurture leads with newsletters, market reports, and exclusive listings, okay? So it's very, very important. And these are some good marketing strategies that you guys can use. What do you guys feel like where you're lacking at for your social media? Consistency. Okay. Let me ask you this. How many times a day do you post? Okay. At least try to post 3 times a day. That first post needs to be what you do in the morning. Okay, whether if it's working out, if it's yoga, that's where that relatability is coming from. It shows people that, oh, she's regular. Your second post needs to be, what are you doing throughout your day, business-wise? Okay, because they're seeing she's a mover and she's a shaker. She's not someone who just posts something. And then your third post needs to be something fun or family. That's where you create that connection with people. Okay. You want to connect. Remember that know, like, and trust. I may want to do business with Katie because I'm like, this girl's always in some fly heels. She can dress. She's a girly girl, right? Or I may want to do business with Toby because I see Toby, he's involved with his church. He's a family man. Hey, I'm a family woman. I could be able to relate to him. I want him to help me purchase my home. So people are setting themselves apart. That's what you have to do. Yes, ma'am.
So, one social that I've been struggling with is Instagram.
Okay.
Facebook, well, no problem.
Okay.
And I post the same, like, you know how you did.
It shares.
It kind of shares it.
Mm-hmm.
So I post the same content, but I'm like, I haven't figured it out, like, how to really capture a following as well as algorithm
Okay.
on Instagram.
Okay. Instagram's my favorite. I have 11.2K followers on Instagram, and that's where I get majority of my clients. That's where I get all my clientele if it's not a referral, just to be very transparent, right? Instagram, you got to learn the times your audience is up and active. Because if you don't post at the right times, the attraction and the algorithm is not going to be beneficial for you. Also, your hashtags. Hashtags are very important. You want at least 4 to 6 hashtags that are relatable to what you're posting. It can't be hashtag girl boss, hashtag. No, people hashtag what they're looking for. So you need to have your branding hashtag. You need to have your whatever this post hashtag is, at least anywhere from 4 to 6. That will bring attraction to them. And then also tagging people in the picture. That is very important, right? If I know that someone has a very high following base, I'm going to tag them. Boop. Share this, please. Please share this. I don't care if you're not even a part of my brokerage. You're going to see my face. That's another thing. And then stories and reels. So what your posts need to be, like just an actual post, clean cut picture, right? You want to pay attention to things that are in the background because let's be real, people are judgmental, right? So you want to make sure your posting is clear, but your reels, you want to have anywhere from 15 to maybe 60-second reels if they're not educational. If they're educational, they need to be the max 3 minutes long. People attention span goes quickly, short and to the point. Okay. Did that answer your question? Awesome. All righty. The 3 C's of branding: clarity, consistency, and constancy. Be clear and don't sugarcoat your qualifications. Okay. You want to express your brand across the community. Whenever I walk into the room, I don't care if it's a nail salon, dog grooming, whatever. I'm going to figure out how I can have a organic, and I always say organic because people can feel when you're being fake with them, right? So I'm going to figure out how I can have an organic conversation with them to get them to ask me, well, what do you do? I'm a commercial agent. I do commercial real estate. How many people, like, is this your first business? Is this the second one? Are you looking for another location? Oh, I think you would thrive in this area. And the reason why you suggest an area is because did you know half of business owners did not use an agent? Did y'all know that? I guarantee you if you ask them, hey, did you have, they're going to be like, no, I just talked to the landlord. And I go, ooh, you could have saved some money. Did you get TI? And they may say yes or no. Oh, okay. Did you get so many months? I'll start then asking probing questions. And then I'll say, hey, if you ever have any questions regarding this lease or if you think your landlord is trying to do anything, give me a call and I'll see how I can help you. Okay. And the reason why I do that is because you already told me you don't have an agent. You already told me you're having problems with your landlord. So what's the next step? You most likely gonna want another space. Am I right? Okay. Okay. And then I'm gonna go back. Hey, I'm just here to buy something. Thank you. How's everything? Good. Continue to show them that you're caring about their business because you're gonna stay fresh on their mind. Now, remember, a strong brand requires an identity, a brand image, brand culture, and brand personality. How many of you guys only target clientele that you're comfortable with? Go. Hey, come on.
I do.
Okay.
And I do that because I feel like my comfortability with that client is important.
Okay.
To build our relationship.
Okay.
So I do typically like market to the clientele that I know will know, like, and trust.
Okay. So that could be a good and a bad thing. I'm going to tell you why, right? You can have Mr. John, who's been in business for 20-something years. Mr. John is a veteran. Mr. John is most likely stuck in his way, right? You as a millennial can say, hey, Mr. John, did you know? And he's going to be like, well, no, when I did it, I definitely understand that. But in today's world, how things are going now, I'm here to keep you, what's the word, up to date with what's going on now. Let me show you. So don't be afraid to go outside of the box because you can learn from those individuals. So if you stay in a comfort zone, you're only going to grow so far. So like I tell people, when you get your accountability partner, don't be with a person who's gonna make you feel comfortable because you're gonna stay stagnant. So for an example, I'm gonna use Julie. Julie is a person who is straight to the point. I know she does business like this. I know she targets these type of clientele. Hey, can I shout at you? And of course, at first, I'm going to feel a little uncomfortable because I don't know her personality. But I know for some reason I can add some type of value to her and she can add value to me. Okay? So go outside of your box with your brand culture. Okay? Image is everything. You are your walking billboard. If I'm branding myself as the $1 million woman, but I come in looking like I'm tired, I had a long day, the kids wore me raggedy, you're like, okay, well, I see ya. I don't. Let me ask you this. You don't gotta show of hands. How many of you guys' car is not clean? Okay. Now I have a method to the madness. An agent. When I first got into real estate, his name was Julius. He's passed away now. You see how I'm doing that storytelling? Okay. When I first got into real estate, I got to the office, and me and Julius pulled in at the same time. And he stepped out his car and he looked at my car. He looked at me, and I'm like, "Hi, Juju." He's like, "Hey." He's like, "Get back in the car and follow me." And I'm like, "Where are we going?" I promise you, this is no joke, y'all. I'm so serious. And like a couple, about half a mile down, it was a car wash. So I'm like, okay, maybe he needed me to pick him, drop him off and pick him up. He said he got out the car, he pulled through, and I'm like, oh, you about to wash my car, okay? So I'm not asking no questions. I'm just following. I'm like, okay. So got done getting my car clean. We got back to the office. I said, was my car dirty bothering you? He said, no. He said, but you're an agent. He said, your first impression when you are meeting your client is everything. If your car is dirty, that symbolizes laziness. You're going to do a lazy job with that person. But if your car is clean, it shows you're responsible, you're consistent, and you're going to do the job the right way. And ever since then, that stuck with me. I'm like, okay. And it's funny because unless they're like a contractor, I give them grace. But if I'm about to do business with somebody and their car is dirty, I'm like, ugh. And most of the time, you're pretty right. They're a little lazy. You got to continue to follow up with them. But that's a good rule of thumb to keep that car clean because that car is your brand too. Alrighty, guys. I have some little tidbits I want to give y'all in my phone. Okay. Now, this is the very last slide. So we have a call to action. So I like to recap whenever I do presentations, right? Because when you first get started, I don't care what no one says, but when you first get started and you have like double the eyes looking at you, you're nervous. So you tend to go fast. You tend to miss things until you start to become comfortable, right? So a call to action, you can't scale what you don't measure. So if you're not keeping track of what you're doing, you're not going to know if your marketing or your branding is even working effectively, right? We're in business where we every day have to always better our business, better our service, and better our strategic partners, okay? Don't be afraid to say, hey, this isn't working. I got to pair you with someone else, okay? Don't be afraid to fire the client or fire the partner because sometimes you outgrow those people, and sometimes other partners may have better services, right? So how you do that is by tracking your metrics, website traffic, lead conversion, and engagement rates. So Tasha, when you had said, hey, I don't know if this is working or not for your social media on Instagram, start tracking. KD, start tracking when you post more, how much attraction starts coming to your page. When you're doing those marketing analysis, or when you're educating people on, hey, did you know that this area has this, that, and the third? Start seeing who starts watching more and who starts watching regularly, because that's the important part, okay? Gather client feedback to consistently improve your brand. The reason why is because if I spent money with you and I asked, hey, how was my service? They're going to give it to you raw. You'll be surprised. okay? And ask them. Say, hey, I just want to better myself for the next person. And you'll be surprised how they'll give you feedback. One person had told me I was a little too rough, and I said, oh, okay, I gotta soften my approach. But throughout years, I have learned how to be more softer, more meek, and my approach is a lot different. And then also learn the personalities of your clients. If you see that a client has a soft touch, kind of timid, allows you to lead, then that's when you step in and be that educator for your client. If you see that your client is very dominant, very assertive, very, they sending you properties and you're like, dog, I just told you that when I get back to my computer, then you gotta match them because they're looking for a certain type of service. Leverage client testimonial. People love telling other people about what happened to them. Okay. Oh my gosh. Well, when I closed, she got me this. Da, 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 da. And they forget about the whole experience that you had. They forgot that they were actually the headache. So, client testimonial, leverage it, okay? It'll help you get more business. Um, refine your elevator pitch. How many of you guys have an elevator pitch? Okay. So, mind you, because I'm always sharpening myself, I was at a class, what was that, last Wednesday? And it was about elevator pitch. What is your 30-second elevator pitch? I said mine when I first got up here. You got to have it because a person may blow you off, but then when they hear your elevator pitch, they may say, okay, you got 60 seconds. Tell me more. You know what? Give me a call. So if you don't have an elevator pitch, I encourage you to get one and master it. Okay. And then last but not least, audit your online presence. Ensure they align with your brand. So if you're online, if you market yourself as a commercial and residential agent, but when I go and look you up online, it's not showing that. Or if I see you do taxes, hair, and real estate, oh, opportunist. That's what a person thinks. What are they consistent at? What do you do? Are you just doing it for the money? So your social media presence should align with your brand and with who you are. Okay? All righty, guys. Well, that's all for me. Thank you. So, before I bring up our speaker and also our sponsor, I want to tell you how I met this gentleman. I was at a CCIM event and walked in, walked back out, walked in again, and he came up to me and he said, "Hey, I'm Mitch." I said, "I'm Mel. Nice to meet you." So we started having an organic conversation, and he let me know who he was with. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I thought it was just gonna be that, and all right, see you later. I think, did we exchange emails or? Okay, so we exchanged emails, and he reached out to me and he said, "My power of the follow-up, the email." He said, "Hey, I want to get to know more about you, what you do, and your brand. Let's have lunch." Okay, let's do it. And from there, I was able to meet him, learn about his brand, what he do. And the one thing that stood out to me the most, and this is very rare when you hear it, he said, even if I can't service or help your clients with getting funded, I still have resources with this, and that. So I can just be the go-to person just to help better your business. And I was like, oh, I need this man on my team. We we locked in because that let me know, and he said it so organically. So that lets me know that he meant what he said, and he was really serious about helping me grow my business. So I want you guys to give it up for Mitch. He's with Frost Bank. He brought his team. Come on, y'all, give it up for him. Thank you.
Hey, everybody. Thank you. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. I just was waiting for it. I'm Micah Mendoza with Frost Bank. I did bring a lot of leadership team in case I get in a jam and questions I can't answer. I'm going to introduce them in the back before we get started. So we'll start. Actually, I'll start with my right hand man. I could not function without this gentleman, Corey Williams. His card is in there with mine in the folder. So, and then my charge of expansion, fearless leader, Steve Martin. As you go to. So, if you're not familiar with all the growth we've done for Austin locations, Steve is heading that charge. So, and then I'll move over to my direct report, Amir Mirzada, who's runs our team. And then Aaron Eccles. Aaron is in charge of our CRE group. They do a lot of new construction, value add properties. And am I missing anything kind of on that piece of it? And then I do primarily I do what we call CNI, which is just commercial and industrial. A lot of owner occupied stuff, as it's called in our world. I'll give you a little bit of information on Frost Bank as you've got some of that swag. We've been around over 150 years. We are Texas based. We are the largest Texas headquartered bank. Comerica tries to say that they are, but they're from Detroit and they moved to Texas. That doesn't count. We are always known as one of the most stable and sound banks in the country. Actually, everybody probably here in real estate remembers the 2008 tariff funds and banks in trouble. We're the first bank in the nation to turn down those funds, to give you an idea of the strength and stability of who we're working with. Service first. Service is always a priority. You can call our customer service line right now and a live person will pick up. And you can call in the middle of the night and a live person will pick up. And I don't think that's heard of to this day. A little bit about me personally. I've been in banking for over 20 years. 15 of that is based on the commercial side. Don't let the hair and face creams fool you. I'm pretty old. I'm not spring chicken. I believe that time is our biggest commodity because we don't know when it's up. So I don't like wasting people's time. I don't like wasting my time. So kind of to Melanie's point, anytime we get a deal or a referral to us, I immediately try to figure out where can this fit with our world. Obviously, sometimes we've got to underwrite it and I can't control. I think we got it. But if I can eyeball it and say this isn't going to be us, I'm going to let you know. Because your clients need to know, you need to know you've got things to do. I've done this so long. We've got unlimited resources for you, not only here at the bank, but for your clients. And really, I'm pretty kinetic. I could have brought a slideshow, but that's just not me. I'm much swing for the hip and all about feel. And so I guess my biggest thing is, even if it's properties, we've got a residential division as well that's consistently recognized by JD Power that's great at mortgages. We've got home equities, we've got insurance, and investments. So there's no limit to what we can do for you, your clients, and anything in the future. So I open it up to any questions because that kind of seems to be more of people's appetite whenever you get a lender in, either good or bad. So anybody have any questions for me on how we approach commercial things, investments, anything to that effect? Size, scope, yes, ma'am.
At your bank,
Mhm.
what opportunities do y'all like? We have a client and they're a new business owner or someone that's new to commercial. How should we vet those clients, or what normally does that process look like, and what are they expected to have?
I personally don't like to have any, I don't expect y'all to vet anybody for us. Let us talk to them because yes, there's times where it's a new business, but maybe they're pretty well established in what they did prior to that. So there's a way to maybe get around what you would traditionally find as a startup business. I think if you tell most banks, especially the larger ones, I've got a startup, they're immediately going to be like, well, I'm out. Well, the startup request might have only been for 200,000, and they've got over 1 million in liquid, and we could easily look at doing something to make something work for somebody like that, right? Like maybe they don't want to use their million, or anything to that effect. So I don't really think there's a true vetting. I think the staple you're going to hear is at least 2 years in business, in 2 years, file tax returns. If it is a startup, you'll probably look traditionally at projections, 2 years projections, probably going to have more of an SBA component to it. But I wouldn't worry about vetting it. We work with businesses all shapes and sizes. So if that's
And speaking of SBA, do you already have like a contact that you partner them with in the event that they do need to go through the SBA?
we're actually a preferred SBA lender. So we've got SBA in-house, so that can be taken care of. And I'm a point of contact with that team as well. So we work together. I think they, if I'm not mistaken, the last time I heard they had experienced 30% growth over last year's production. So well-staffed team, very knowledgeable. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any new construction projects? I'm sorry, not projects, but loan products?
Yes, we do. Are you looking for owner user or investment purposes?
Both. It could be mixed use.
Okay.
I have some residential builders that are looking to expand their portfolio to mixed use properties.
Yeah. I'm actually going to let that gentleman over there kind of take that answer.
Yeah, so our commercial lending group does primarily new construction and across all asset types. Generally speaking, we're going to have a construction loan where it matches up with how long it's going to take you to get it built, how long it ought to take you to get it leased up, and then we get repaid when you either sell it or refinance it. But other specifics from there, you just get it kind of depends on the project and a wide range of factors.
And y'all will look at residential developments, correct? For some of the, I think it's kind of established, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know what y'all call.
Yeah, so we've got on the residential side, we have some borrowers who they buy the land, they put in the streets, the curb cuts, sewers, utilities, all that. They individually plat the lots, sell those to the home builders. We have a few customers that are the volume home builders. They'll sign a contract to buy 75 lots in that development and to take down a certain number every quarter, and they'll build the homes and sell them. We do a little bit of kind of one-off spec homes. It's one lot somewhere that either it's a vacant lot or someone is going to fully gut or tear down and sell it to someone, but it doesn't yet have an owner. So those are the ones we do the least of in the residential space.
And then now I'm thinking about it as well, in the folder I included, we have a professional acquisition program. So as some of you are working with, maybe your client is a dentist, you focus on the residential side, but you uncover, hey, he's looking to acquire. We have that on that piece as well, as program specific for that. Doesn't even have to be a dentist. Maybe it's a CPA, an attorney. So we've got, or an architect. That there's specific products within just the norm that we can look at for different people. And again, this bank is really, really good about trying to make something fit the client, because we're all about people, we're all about relationships. And I know a lot of people say that, but all I can tell you is just trust me one time and I'll never have to ask you to trust me again. So
I have a question. So what if a client isn't need more funding for, however, they may have 100K liquidated, but they're needing more? How, and if they're looking to do an SBA loan, what is the percentage that typically, on the residential side is what, 3%, 5%? And then on the commercial, what would that look like?
on the SBA component, if they're looking at buying the building and doing some of the improvements to the building and operate that property. You'll see that a lot in warehouses where they're going to buy the building, but they need to put in these big coolers and kind of other stuff to make it function their business. We can actually finance that in a draw term component,
Okay.
basically like you're drawing on it for the year and then it'll be fixed out. Typically about 10 to 15% just down depending on risk grade, property type, strength of guarantor. But we can do that in a one-stop closing setting.
Okay.
So
Well, I was just going to ask more from like a real estate professional aspect, like if we wanted to set up business products with you, how would that look as far as getting a relationship if we want to expand our business and different things like that? What type of benefits do you have for people starting like business accounts?
it's a great question. Yeah, so we definitely want to lend to our existing clients or clients that do business with us. Setting up an account or establishing any business, and then we can work on getting that set up. When it comes time to the investment piece of it, short term, we will look at doing some investment properties long term. Typically, depending on things like liabilities you have or debts you have or what the property looks like, if it's fully leased, size, we have products to do anywhere between, I would say, 25% down or 30% down, just depending on what that project looks like. But it's something we're capable of doing. And Amir,
Back off of that, like, do you do business loans like directly like for business owners? Like, if we just wanted to do something, some rebranding, some expansions within our own business, does it have to be related to a property or business loan?
yeah, it's a great question. So yes, looking at, I need a line of credit because there's seasonality, or you've got a client that's needs a line of credit to operate, whether they're in staffing or maybe it's lawn care and it gets slower in the winter and they need something to bridge the gaps. We do offer that. Or if it's a trucking company, but they don't need it right now, we can do what's called a major commitment or guidance line, meaning it's this $1 million line and they buy a truck and draw off of that throughout the life of the line. To give an example, I guess. Sorry, Amir, I missed you.
I was just going to also add, Mike is doing a great job talking about the commercial banking aspect here, but I know in y'all's world as well, you guys are working with a lot of individuals looking to purchase homes as well. Frost, we've also just recently re-entered the mortgage space. This was a space that we exited in 2006 just because people didn't have relationships with their mortgage banker or mortgage broker. You were kind of one and done. Frost, we are very relationship focused. Everything we do, we want to know the relationship component behind it. So we've worked really hard in developing a mortgage product for our customers and non-customers, but one that we feel we can continue to have conversation, continue to have dialogue, and look for other opportunities. But with that being said, our product, it's a fully digital product. You can actually do the entire application from your phone. We've got dedicated mortgage officers. They're non-commissioned mortgage officers, so they are going to spend the right time with you and your clients to get the information done. It doesn't matter if it's a $2 million deal or $200,000 deal. There's not a commission incentive on this. So our goal is to take care of the client. And then at the same time, we also have 3 different tiers. We've got our jumbo, we've got our traditional, and then we also have a progress mortgage, which is also really, really interesting in the industry, especially where rates are today. Our progress mortgage is, the rates change regularly, but I do know it is priced below what you're seeing in market right there. We're normally able to go stop me if I'm going the wrong direction. Are we still doing 100%? We do 100% financing, and then we do offer money to go towards closing. I think it's $4,000 to go towards closing costs. And if closing costs are actually less than that, we'll take the remainder and pay down your principal immediately. So those folks will already have equity in their product. So, I mean, I do know you guys are talking a lot about commercial, but I didn't want to forget to mention
That's good.
that as well.
Did I finish answering your question, by the way? Okay. Yes.
Awesome.
Anything else that might have missed or questions that didn't approach on the business side, residential side?
Can you give us just a little bit more information about industrial? How would that work for us financing?
If it is owner user, we can do 20% down typically. And usually what we're seeing right now with the rates, a lot of people are wanting to do a 5-year term. We can go up to 25-year amortization, but we're seeing a lot of 5-year because people don't know. First, the rate is better, but people don't really know where the rates are going to be 5 years from now when they're like, I would rather take my chances are going to be lower. But we can structure it that way on the industrial piece. If it's investment, new construction, that would be kind of Aaron's world. I don't know what you're seeing on that piece of it, Aaron, on the construction value add industrial. What kind of terms are they?
Yeah, so all of our loans are really going to be cash flow based, meaning once you get up and running, we're going to want the property's operating income to be able to cover our debt service, probably 1.25 or 1.3 times. So if we know what the property's income is going to be, right? You tell me, hey, I want to build this. Here's who I'm going to lease it to, the rent they're going to pay. So you can figure out the property's income. We can use that to back into a loan that it would support. In the current environment with rates and construction costs where they are, that usually means that the loan is for about 60, maybe 65% of the total project cost. So construction costs and elevated interest rates are meaning those investor deals require a little more equity up front.
Are any of these products including like a delayed interest payment?
I don't have any, no.
Delayed interest payment?
Yeah,
No.
like sometimes they don't pay interest until like maybe 5 or 10 years later.
We'll do some delay on the principal as things start getting up and running. Not for 5 or 10. We can look at maybe 12 months, stretch a little bit after there, but interest would be something that we're looking at day one to make sure that. Right. Yeah.
If you find one of those, let me know.
Private
That's-
lenders, I
yeah.
understand that banking.
Yeah.
You gotta ask them.
Yeah, that's I would love, contact if you have it, because sometimes there's things like that, and it's like, we can't help you as a bank, but I might know this person, and that kind of goes to, I told Melanie when we first met, I'll find somebody.
You alluded to a lot of private lenders. We've seen a lot of private lenders getting into this space, right? For all different types of reason. As a bank, at the end of the day, we are lending out our depositors money. So we take things a little bit different approach. With the private lenders, it is their money. They may be okay saying, hey, I'll forego any income for a few years. But with us focused on our depositors and being a relationship bank, we always say, we're not going to do anything with our money or anything with your money that we would not do with our money. So
I told Steve I was going to have him talk a little bit. I probably missed something that, or insight on some of the expansion and things like that as far as Frost and what we're doing and what we've done so far.
Sure. So you covered a lot of the details, and I was thank you, Melanie, for that. So I'll tell you a little bit about our brand and kind of what it's like to do business at Frost, since we've already talked about some of the details, and then we can drill down on anything that you think of. But, as far as what we do every day at Frost, our aim is to make people's lives better. We've been around for 158 years, and we've got a very strong culture that's focused on providing extremely high quality service. And something we talk about a lot is that everyone is significant at Frost. That means anybody that walks in our door will be treated as a very important client. And that extends to things like at Frost. When you call Frost, a person always answers the phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So I think that's, that just sort of reflects the value that we put on treating everybody as significant and providing really high quality service. And then Mike had talked about it a little bit. We're about a $50 billion bank. And one of the things that I think is most important in terms of how we're able to partner with our clients is that our companies run in a really responsible way. So we're very consistent. So when you see through all parts of the business cycle, I think you'll find Frost Bankers, because our company always remains healthy, we're a great consistent partner for our clients. So strength and stability, treating everybody as significant. And the other, talking about taglines, I thought about, Frost, we talk about expect the unexpected. And we start every meeting that we have with telling a Frost story about how our values translate into helping make other people. And if you've seen any of our commercials, and took some of those stories. And there's a story about one of our customers that was a professional bowler, and he was in Las Vegas at a bowling tournament, and he lost his ATM card, and a Frost banker was happened to be going to Las Vegas and took him an ATM card. So just examples like that. And then there was a car full of nuns that had a flat tire in front of our motor bank, and one of our bankers ran out and helped change the tire. So those kind of things, expect the unexpected, providing just a customer service experience that is beyond what I think you can get other places. And that is because I've been at Frost for 29 years, and I've been involved in our expansion. We've doubled the size of our team in Dallas, and we have added new teammates like Micah that just care deeply about helping others be successful. So that's what we're all about at Frost. And happy to answer in details, but I was inspired by your conversation and wanted to tell you a little bit about our brand and our values and our culture.
Yes, sir.
For self-storage purchase, do you investment loan?
I think, have y'all done some in your group?
So we can as having to lease it out to somebody else, right, to generate the income. And in that space, we do primarily new construction. We have not done a whole lot in the way of acquisition, but we would consider that an investor loan. Yeah.
confident about that as far as knowledge and service. You know, every title company is selling the same thing. It's title insurance. We can't do anything about it. You can't reduce it. It's promulgated. The only difference is service. And that is what we push every single day. So I would love an opportunity. I think one thing that I've always told any of a marketing rep, and I think that you would agree, if you don't ask for the business, you're most likely not going to get the business. And so I would love the opportunity to do your next transaction. If you give us one try, that's all I always say, give us one try. You'll continue to use us. We're in Plano. We're off of 121 and Preston. That's we're doing about 85% of our closings don't come to our office anymore. It's kind of it is actually started happening before COVID, but after that it's hard to get someone to come. I had one the other day. They were in Frisco, and they asked for us to send a notary, and I was like, okay. So, but it's about convenience. People are busy. And I get that. And so we're okay with that. We just don't get to get the one-on-one anymore. It's hard to, but we do offer champagne closings if your client does come. And don't get me wrong, if it's a good client, we'll come to them with a champagne. So yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll treat a $50,000 deal the same as we will a $50 million. No. Do you have any questions about, and we do, again, residential and commercial, both. Anything? Well, you have my cards. We do classes as well. So if you don't mind, I don't know if we have contact information, but feel free to reach out to me, or if you don't mind her giving you my information. Yep. Call, email, give us one try. Anything else? No? Okay. All right. Well, thank you again. Let this be a part of your day.
And I also want to piggyback when she say that she has a solution, she has a solution, because I was in a pickle with my closing, and I was a little nervous to the point where I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to close, but they made it happen. I'm not going to go into detail, but I'm going to just let you know. It was able to happen. I really appreciate that. I have 2 of my listings with her, and I was able to call and say, hey, can I get some questions on this, or can you find out some information about this? So that's always really good to have that relationship with the title company who's very attentive, have the problem fixed, because we all want to hear solutions. We don't want to hear, well, this cannot happen. So okay.
Contract in this morning as soon as I back, because another title company cannot do the closing. I don't know why. Some of it's education, and some of it might be that title company doesn't want to take the risk, even though it might be minimal, and that's where we are different. So I can take the risk and think that we are going to, or what I tell my underwriters is, just tell me how to do it. Don't say no. It might be jump through a ring of fire, and it might take a bit, but if it can close, we will close it. Period. No, if anybody, we will. If anyone can close it, we can. I've only had to pass down a couple in 20 years.
My keyword was what I love that she said, I'm gonna take the risk. The bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. That's what I always like to say. Yeah. Some people are a little scared to get their feet dirty or their hands dirty, What is the hands dirty, feet wet? Yeah. Alrighty, you guys. Well, I want to say thank you guys so much for taking time out to come in to support, to become educated. And I hope that you guys learned something that was very beneficial. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me. And then also connect with these people that are in here. Let them know who you are, what your brand is, and then y'all could practice on your tagline while you're talking to them. Alrighty, guys. That's all I have for today. Thank you.